Welcome back to Friday 6 o'clock show, where we're joined by Weekend AM presenter Anna Daly and inspirational Instagram star Trisha Lewis.
Now, Ray was mentioning, we're chatting to you, we're all very amped up, actually, tonight. We're like, let's go.
We're ready to do this. Give me the ropes.
We are.
Give me the ropes.
We do the ropes.
But you've been talking about making some changes for as long as I've known you.
Yeah, just about as long as I've known you. As long as we've been on the show together, yeah. Well, the thing is, it's been a running joke on the show, right, about me being fat, right? And
sorry, his running joke, your running joke.
Because I'm allowed to make the joke, because I know, look at even the shirt, it's always the jokes about the shirt being overweight, and geez, I always say, because there's loads of screens, you can always see inside profile, see? And it's like, oh, Jesus, plenty of navy on the screen tonight, is what I always say, right? So, it's been my running joke since my first child, since my wife got pregnant with my first child. That's when it all went downhill. It was like, wife got pregnant, hit the wine, takeaways, we can do whatever we like, we can eat whatever we like, it's fine. And it was last week, the skiing thing.
You went off skiing and we were watching that,
went off to Austria, and there it is. Oh, God, that was it. There were two things happened on that trip, right? One was, they asked me, what size jacket do you want before you go for your ski gear? And I went for extra small. Yeah. No, I went for extra large, and the extra large was no longer fit me. I was too big for the extra large, okay? Which happens fairly frequently. And the other thing is, I got a tweet from someone saying, you've got, when you're off skiing, you had more chins than a Chinese phone book. Which
you had the strap on underneath the helmet.
Yeah. Which is, it's funny. Well done, tweeter. I agreed with you.
Thank you for trolling.
It's a funny tweet. But I was like, there's another thing I'm going to do it. I'm going to finally sort it out. So there was another thing then, which was the 10-year challenge. You know this thing that everyone's been doing online?
Yeah.
Of like, get a photo of yourself from 10 years ago. Only people that have lost weight in 10 years are putting up the 10-year challenge. No one who has put on a 3 stone or 4 stone or whatever it was I've put on since. 10 years ago I was doing Take Me Out on TV3 at the time. Yeah. And I was a lot skinnier. I was like 12 and a half stone.
You were,
so I was like,
were invisible.
So I'm going to do it. I'm going to sort it out. We're starting a thing where on the show, on the 6 o'clock show, I'm going to sort myself out over like the next couple of months. I was going to do it in January. I got the inspiration. Trish given us the green light, and we're doing it now. I'm starting by getting the head in place. So we're starting with some mindfulness.
Yes, we're all going to do it now.
Getting our head in place, and I couldn't undergo a big change without looking at the medical side of things as well. We'll do that in a couple of seconds. Let's take a look. I went and met Alison Canavan, and we talked about mindfulness. Take a look. Hi, lovelies. The weight loss journey begins right here. It's a funny one, actually, because I've been sort of dreading the exercise and the running and the cardio, but my first challenge is going to be up here. It's all about mindfulness, apparently, and I've come here to learn a little bit about sort of meditating and getting my head around losing the weight. Let's make this happen.
And hold at the top and release.
I'm sitting on the floor. She put me on the floor straight away.
If you're looking to make positive changes in your life, which I know that you are, mindfulness to me is a solid foundation upon which to start, because we can't make changes until we become aware of our habits, obviously. So awareness is usually the first step.
It's all well and good, and it's great having you here telling me what to do, right? How do I do it on my own then?
So small moments often. Okay, so I always say it's the little things done consistently over time that make the biggest difference in your life. And maybe starting your day with 3 deep breaths and just sitting and saying, today's going to be a great day. Okay, that might sound really simple in theory, but what you're doing is you're telling your brain, which we can retrain our brain, what type of day we want to have. So I put 3 alarms on my phone, and simply when they go off, it says breathe.
Okay, just take a moment.
Check in. Okay. But what you're doing is you're toning down and calming your central nervous system. It's the little things that make a difference.
Okay. Next question then that I have to ask. How is that going to make me skinny?
Well, it's not going to make you skinny, but what it is going to do is it's going to make you aware of the habits and the choices that you're making. So like I said, it's a great foundation.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
Have you seen the 10-year challenge thing? You know the thing where,
Yes,
where
I've
people,
seen it on social
you
media.
take a photograph of yourself from 10 years ago and you take a photograph of yourself now, and most people that are putting up the photographs of themselves are putting up improvements.
Yes.
And mine is not an improvement. I was doing Take Me Out 10 years ago, and I was like 3 stone lighter at the time. I was in the best shape of my life. I was going to personal training. I didn't have 2 kids. And this has been on the back burner for the last 6 years or so since my first kid was born. So I'm doing it. This is actually...
Which is amazing, and I think what it shows is there's no point in looking back and feeling bad about anything. I think it's just start from here, move forward, so everything begins and ends with the mind. So once we work with our thoughts and work with our behaviours, anything's possible. When we're more mindful, first of all, we get to tune into what kind of habits we're making and choices and, you know, why we're eating, why we're reaching for the food and we're stressed. So most of us are in fight or flight mode, which is a stress state all the time. When we're eating our food and we're in the fight or flight mode, our digestive system completely shuts down. So we're not what we eat, we're what we absorb. And if we can't break down our food correctly,
Oh, I see, right.
you see, then we're not going to absorb the nutrients. So very simply, what can we do? Just take 3 deep breaths. And I don't mean like sit down in front of everyone and go, because people are going to, A, think you're weird.
I can imagine my kids looking at me going, what's Daddy doing?
Dad, what's going on? But just sit down and just take 3 deep breaths, just conscious breaths. And what that does is put your body into the rest and digest mode. Try not to eat in front of screens. Try not to eat in the run. Look, we have to do it sometimes. Take a deep breath. And then just before you eat. So that's as simple as it is. You just want to switch your body from the stress state to rest and digest. This is the food diary here. You fill in what you're eating every day, and then the second week I get them to write down how they're feeling. Are your food choices determined by your moods? And if they are, then we look back and go, okay, so how are you eating earlier on in the day? If you're constantly reaching for sugar in the evening, why? You know, we don't do things for no reason.
And I suppose then once you see that on the sheet of paper, it's like 2 weeks of that and I know exactly what my problem is by the end of it. I think I already know, frankly.
Okay, so I love having smoothies because they're full of nutrients and they give you great energy, but I don't advocate replacing your meals with smoothies and juices because I still think we need to eat properly. But this is a great, easy to go to smoothie. If you have some greens, I always use some kale or spinach, just a little bit of cucumber. We're going to add that banana as well, if you wouldn't mind opening it. And berries are great. Berries are full of phytonutrients. They're brilliant. For me, maca powder gives a load of minerals and B vitamins. B vitamins are great for energy. And then I love raw cacao because it just gives it a lovely taste. Like the banana, so which is really nice.
I don't recognise any of those. I recognise banana. That's probably... It looks like a chocolate milkshake.
And it tastes a little bit like one too. Have a taste.
So. Right,
cheers.
Bottoms up, darling. Cheers. It's not a chocolate milkshake, but it is actually quite nice.
Good.
So if I was to have that instead of the biscuits or the 25 digestive biscuits, I'd be onto a winner.
I think you'd be good.
There you go.
Right, let's look at the medical. By the way, the jacket I was wearing in the Take Me Out video, still have it. Want to get back in that.
That's the plan.
It's
That's
gonna go.
the plan.
Let's look at the medical side of things. Joining us now is Dr. Eleanor Galvin.
Hello, doctor.
How are you?
Hello. So we did a bunch of tests before the show. One was getting on the scales. The other was around my weight. Will we go through them? Let's begin with the blood pressure then. We started with blood pressure. How's my blood pressure?
Ray is actually a very healthy specimen, but he doesn't believe it.
See, this is what I've been telling him for years. I think you see yourself in a completely different way. His blood pressure is fine?
His blood pressure is fabulous. His heart rate is fabulous. He's a normal ECG. He has a slightly big waist.
Okay, can we talk about this a little bit?
Yeah.
I was shocked at this, actually.
Okay, so let's talk about...
Well, now, he thought his waist was entirely a different place than I thought his waist was.
So...
and you're the doctor.
And I know where his waist is. So men have a tendency to measure their arse instead of their waist.
So, everyone, I went, after I found out he didn't know where his waist was, I asked 4 lads and they all pointed to here being their waist.
It's really kind of,
Like it's up at the belly button.
Can I just say, though, when you're in a shop buying clothes and it says your waist is 36, as it is in my case, that I was like, you said, what's your waist? And I said, it's 36, the 36 waist. But that's not...
Is that the hips?
Small arse.
Yeah, small bum.
Small arse. 36, so, thank you very much.
So his waist was actually 42 inches, which ideally your waist should be, for a man, for any man, you should try and have a waist less than 36 inches where your actual waist is.
Okay.
And for a woman, it's like 32 inches. So that is the only thing that Ray is not normal, or actually really well. So
well,
Ray
physically, where he's not normal, physically.
Physically.
How is his BMI?
His BMI was 26.8.
Is that... You look as though you know it.
Very jealous.
I wouldn't you be? So,
fabulous BMI.
A fabulous BMI. So Ray is actually very hard on himself and probably needs a bit of Trish, a bit of kind of self-love. Because you are not that overweight. If you lost 10 pounds, you would be bang on normal range. And an awful lot of people are nowhere near normal BMI.
Right, OK.
So you're actually doing very well. But you're not happy with it and you want to lose it and you'll feel better when you do. And that's good.
That is the thing. That's the thing we're saying with Trish as well. Like, there's some big and small. You can be any size you like as long as you're happy.
You want to be
and,
smaller and that's fine. I would say BMI 26.8 is not bad, but puts you in the overweight range.
OK.
So if you were to lose 10 pounds, so we say what you are, you're happy.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, go for it, yeah.
So you're 15 stone 4 pounds.
Yeah, OK.
And then you said that you wanted to be 12 stone there.
No, I just said I wanted to be 12 stone. What I was on the video we saw there, I was around 12.10 there.
So you're
probably too light, though.
Yeah.
So what does he need to be concentrating on? Is this pure diet that he has to be...
It's actually just around the middle. So if he was to do something sustainable every week, a little bit different, not be too hard on himself, he'd probably drop a half a stone every week from not doing anything terribly different, and before you know it, he'd be 10 stone less. But it's just not to try and think that, oh, I want to be 10 pounds less, I'm going to lose it in 2 months now, we'll be back here and I'll be 10 pounds less. That's kind of...
Well, Anna, you're not even onto that kind of go when people give themselves, like, unrealistic targets.
Yeah, and, like, I think we're surrounded... I love Instagram and all of the social media, and I totally engage with it, but I do think we're surrounded by images of perfection. And then, as a result, when you look at yourself, you go, oh, my God, I really need to sort out my weight. Or, you know, I think you're being very hard on yourself.
Well, I don't think I'm being very hard on myself. It's just something I need to fix. It's just something I'm going to fix.
But during the break, Ray said...
We're having a show of everyone telling Ray he's fabulous.
I'm going to take this one and watch it back.
So I'm enjoying this. What does he need to do next, Doctor?
He needs to pick realistic things that he can do while doing a busy breakfast show, driving up and down the country, having 2 kids.
OK, right.
So you could, like, drink more water, try and get more sleep so that you're not exhausted, maybe picking the wrong things to eat. Make small changes over time, and then I think that it'll fall off you, but in a kind of healthy way that you won't fall off the wagon and then have a really bad weekend because you're knackered.
All right, Eleanor, I'm going to be calling back into you next week. I'm getting my bloods done. We're doing all this responsibly and above board. I will check in with you at the end of the whole thing. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Dr. Eleanor, we've got a doctor in the house.